You are listening to Fanning the Flames, the OG Suns podcast that is for the fans, you guys, by the fans, us.
Daniel, my
buddy,
friend,
we made it.
we made it. We made it. Where do we make it to? I think I know where you're going already. Where do we make it? We made it to another episode of Fanning the Flames. Is that what you're about to say?
Yeah, sure. But we also made it through that god awful season.
We did make it through the season. The season has finally come to an end. You know, I thought I had queued up a clip of us celebrating, us being everybody minus you because you didn't come on Sunday to watch the final game of the season with, who was there? Me, Paul, Paul also
Paul.
not here now tonight per usual. But hey, tax season is almost over. I don't know. He has a different type of tax season. I don't want to get into it. I don't know anything about it. We'll just move on. Paul, me, Voida, Sons Geek, and Gavin, all the way from Australia, and you couldn't drive to Desert Ridge to see. I know you saw him already. I'm just kidding. Anyway.
Yeah, we hung out Friday night, okay?
Yeah, but I was gonna say I was going to have a clip from us watching the final moments of that game there that day available right now, but I don't. So never mind.
Oh.
So season's over. Daniel, should we start with the first thing that happened after the Sun season ended? Like literally what? It was, see, that was a 12:30 game, so it ended probably around 3 o'clock. So that if my math is correct, 12, 19, 18 and a half hours later, what happened?
Hey.
We finally see the fire, bud.
We finally got rid of the drunk uncle, dude.
The drunk uncle is no longer here, man. I mean, we start there? What do we say? What do you say about firing Bud? Like,
I mean,
finally?
good riddance. Probably 3 months too late, in my opinion. I think it was clear and obvious he wasn't the guy. The players didn't vibe with him. The locker room was a mess. There was just the Nurk comments. Let's not forget about that. Shit like that. Nurk said, "What he doesn't talk to him." Remember that? And on his way out, when he got benched, he's like, "Oh yeah, I don't have a relationship with him. I don't talk to him. He doesn't talk to me." Gambo's put out a lot of reports saying about how he was just really hard to deal with, and again, you can say what you want about Gambo or however you feel about him. I don't care, but the guy does really. He's kind of tuned in, so usually his sources are pretty reliable. But my thing is just like you see all these people on social media. You can't keep firing coaches. It's a sign of a dysfunctional organization. You also can't fucking reward mediocrity either. You can't just keep at the status quo just because just to say, oh, we're not a dysfunctional organization because we don't fire our coaches after year one. That's a bunch of horseshit, man. I'd rather have an owner that's willing to pay the money to pay 3 coaches at the same time than have a owner that's just gonna be content paying the cheapest coach possible. Do we need to remember the starter area? Igor Kokoshkov, Jay Triano, Earl Watson. Do we want to remember that?
No, I'm sorry, Dan, because you're doing this. You're bringing up fantastic points, but your audio is really screwed up right now.
Oh God, dude.
It's. I'm sorry. It just
I don't know what to tell you, bub.
Maybe, but hold on. You are bringing up fantastic points. Maybe disconnect your audio, or maybe duck out. Let me do this. Let's do this. I'm gonna kick you out.
No. Don't kick me out. Hold on, it's 1 second. Let me just try something real quick.
That's better. That's a better idea. Let's just work it out live.
Actually, that's what. Sorry.
What was it? Did you have it on helium mode? What was it?
No, fuckface. I had it on. I had the audio on the iPhone, not on the AirPods. So my bad, guys.
Well, anyway, Voida, can you comment if he sounds still like worse, or if he sounds okay? Please, like, just say he sounds okay, or if he doesn't, say he doesn't. I don't know, whatever. Dan, you were saying, yeah, you can't just keep a guy who's not the right guy, right? That was the
Yeah,
gist of it. Is that fair?
exactly. Absolutely.
And I think that's 100% correct. And in fact, I believe that this little guy here, this little guy was created sometime in January. So the whole, oh, Dan did do the whole, I'm going to try, he just decided not to tell us that he was going to do that. But what I was saying was this was created back in January. So the whole Fire Bud Brigade, the Fire Bud, well, I like that actually. I'll stick with Brigade. I've been on it from the get go, and well, not the get go, but from early on, and I did get right off the bat a lot of, well, you can't go through and have your third coach in 3 seasons. To which I said, yeah, you absolutely can. Welcome back, Daniel.
Thanks, buddy.
Not only can you absolutely do that, but in addition, like, okay, we're back. Sorry, I'm losing track my thought process because you're bouncing around, everything's bouncing around. Not only can you do it, but it would be irresponsible. There it is. Irresponsible to not do it, because just because something would maybe look bad, the optics might be off, doesn't mean you don't pull the trigger on a very obviously correct decision. I mean, I frankly, I don't care. I'm not going to say it's not going to work out for a fourth year in a row, but at the end of the day, look, ultimately, if we fire 3 coaches in a row, but like just by happenstance, odds are the next one's got to work out well, right? Like,
Yeah.
So no, it's a not surprising move. I do kind of wish, and maybe by design, it didn't happen earlier in the season, because maybe we didn't want there to be some sense of hope, some sense of desire from the team that maybe we get into the playoffs this year and then we think, okay, we can run it back with KD another year, whatever the case might be, and we get stuck back. I think we might have even brought this up a few weeks ago. We get stuck back in one of those situations where it's like what was it, the 40, Daniel, you fell. The 44, 46 game winning team, however many.
48 wins.
48, there it is. And just missed the playoffs. And it's like, all right, let's go for it. And then all of a sudden we're like, oh, we just set ourselves back. Maybe that was the idea. It's like, okay, this isn't working. Let's not do something that might make it work a little bit, because we don't need that false hope.
Well, you never want to compound it either,
Right.
Compound a bad decision. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. And well, I mean, I don't think you really would have if you would have pulled the trigger on
Right.
earlier, right? But look, it's done, just like the season's done. And frankly, it feels nice. It's like I feel refreshingly optimistic, Dan. Like,
Oh, dude.
give me a reason to not believe that we're not going to have some stupidly miraculous offseason and next year it's going to be all peachy keen. I just assume that's going to happen. And you know what? We're going to go through I would have more. We're going to go through some comments, clips from Matt Ishbia today, from the media availability, just kind of forecasting what maybe next season might look like. James Jones was there, as well as a couple of the other front office guys. I didn't get them just because I don't have time today, Daniel. But anything else on Matt Ishbia? We'll get into like who other coaches might be, what have you, or who we might be looking at. But anything else on Bud? Did I say Ishbia right now instead of Bud? But
yeah. I guess I'm a little relieved that instead of firing coaches now because the team's dog shit and winning 18 games, at least now we're firing them because they failed to meet expectations. Whether they're realistic expectations or not. I mean, I think just looking at how fucking deep the West is, I'll be honest with you, man, even if Bud did a good job coaching, I don't know if this team does anything in the playoffs anyway.
Hold on. Let's not bother with this. What are we doing? What are you doing? Come on. What are you doing? Come on. If Bud coached well, I don't think let's stop there. When I say anything else about Bud, I don't mean like.
No, if he would have. if he would have.
No, I'm just saying, like, though, like, let's not go into hypothetical if Bud was
No,
not
no. I'm just saying this team as constructed wasn't going anywhere either way. And I think
I got you.
maybe Ishbia had different expectations, or he just couldn't see it, or he just really believed in the team and it just never shook out. So
Well, I mean, didn't when you say that, you mean what? Like throughout the year, at the beginning of the year? Because I think we all believe nobody expected, right, it to go this way.
I didn't expect it to go this bad, but I also, even coming from last season, just the way the fucking T-Wolves just decided to fucking wipe the floor with us, and just all we could do was kind of improve around the margins. I didn't really have. I didn't when 7-1 start. Obviously, it's a little different. 8-1, whatever. Jesus Christ,
that's not as bad as blowing a 2-0 lead in the.
Oh god damn it, dude!
I feel like we need a drop. If we did drops, there'd be a you can't blow a 2-0 lead in the finals drop. That would be a really weird thing to like have as a drop. We're not gonna have drops. Don't worry, Dan. I know you would like you.
Fucking hate that shit.
Okay, I mean, like easy. It's okay. Like other folks that like it's their thing, right? Like it'd be weird.
Sure.
Point being though, it's like it would be weird for us to have that as a drop since we're like the podcast of optimism. But anyway, you're saying.
I got nothing else to say about that, man.
All right, Forrest. So moving off of Bud. Hold on. Dan, I have a question. Do you take requests from fans?
Don't put up nonsense, please. No.
Voida says, "Hey Dan, flex." And Dan, no is the correct answer. No is the correct answer. Thank you for asking, though, Darth Voida. All right, Dan. We don't need to talk about Coach Bud anymore. You know what? Actually, give me a second. Let me just say, he bamboozled all of us. That's all I'll say. That's all I'm going to say about Coach Bud. I mean, no, but hold on. No, don't give me the. Remember his press conference? Like the dude showed emotion, and then after every single game, all he said was, "We have to do better. I have to be better. We all have to be better." Like when the press conference resonated with people because he didn't come in and just give you company lines. I remember specifically having this conversation with multiple people. That's part of why people had such high expectations of Budenholzer, not just because of the pedigree, not because he's won a championship, not because he won a championship in our face, but because he looked like he actually was going to give a damn and actually, be the right dude to engage. And obviously that was not the case. Again, you hear what Gambo says. I think we've all heard stuff from various different folks about how difficult Budenholzer truly was behind the scenes. So there's no surprise that he's fired. And frankly, I mean, I think there might have been more backlash than just fan backlash if he wasn't fired, but he was. So we don't need to worry about that. Dan, I said I had some clips from Matt Ishbia from today.
Before you get to those,
oh yeah, man,
all I can think
Paul,
about.
Is that what you're gonna say? Because I miss Paul too.
I saw him on Friday. I'm okay.
It's true.
I'm just kidding, Paul.
What can I say? It was nice seeing everybody. It was fun.
Oh, dude, that was a lot of fun. That was really cool. Minus, also, warning: never, ever give your phone to an Australian and say don't hit the like button on a picture, because they will just go and fucking do it. Thanks for that, Gavin. Appreciate you. Jesus, man, almost blew that one for me.
Almost. So you recovered. Well done.
Yeah, I recovered. Anyways. That whole time you were talking about how like Bud like won a championship in our face and like did all that shit. All I could think about is that clip from the finals after we were up 2-0. I think we were like up in we were up big in like game 4, or we were up in a game, right? We were up in a game. I don't want to fucking go back and relive the fucking painful memories anymore. But I still remember that one clip that came out where like all the fucking Bucks players are just like, just like defeated, and all of a sudden this motherfucker's like trying to talk to him, and he's like, just play random.
Yeah.
Remember that shit?
Yeah.
And then of course, here comes Giannis, like he's fucking Thanos, and he's like, fuck it, I'll do it myself, and then he just fucking ran through us. That's that's the sad history of 21.
Why did you just do that?
I don't know.
It's okay.
It's
It's
not.
okay. It's not so.
We might
now-
never get back there again, Bubba.
Wow. What? Okay. You know what? No, Dan, we're not going to do this right now. What we're going to do? We're going to play a little game called I want you to guess who Matt Ishby is talking about right here. Ready?
Ready?
And there's a 50-50 chance I did these backwards, so I just give you the clip that's going to give you the answer in the first place.
Sure.
We'll see. Ready?
To even say that kind of stuff, like I said, that's just, I think, like I said, he'll apologize. I think he was out of line, and I think he knows that. I don't think he really believes that.
Did you hear it?
Yeah.
You have any guess as to who he might have been talking about?
Bradley Beal?
No, that would be a crazy one if Bradley Beal said something that he was going to apologize. I mean, he probably should, but that's like a different conversation for a different day.
That was kind of just throwing shit out there and seeing if it stuck.
You ready for the answer?
Yeah.
Stephen A. Smith.
Oh, I meant.
Stephen A. Smith, I don't take much he says seriously, I don't think many people do, to be honest with you. The things he said about Kevin Durant, just wrong and disrespectful. The things he said about LeBron James were just disrespectful and inappropriate. And so, with that being said, I don't really think Stephen A. believes what he said. I think, he's doing his thing, he's on the mic, and he's doing what he's, and I think he'll apologize to me, because I think it's disrespectful to put my name and, aligned with anybody that was kicked out of the league or no longer part. Like, yeah, if he wants to say for the first 2.5 years Matt Ishby bought the team, we didn't win a championship, I think you probably said about almost every owner ever. Stephen A. Smith, I don't.
Sorry,
I love
wasn't
it.
going to play it again.
I love it.
I guess I missed it. I didn't actually see it. Apparently, Stephen A. Smith
I didn't
said
either.
something like he's the worst owner. And it's like, bro, come on. Chuck.
Oh yeah. I saw that. Once I saw the first part of that clip, and he starts saying, "Yeah, I don't think he meant what he said about me or LeBron James. That was ridiculous." I was like, "Oh, he's talking about Stephen A." And he's right.
Also, the part at the beginning where he said Stephen A. Smith, right? Oh, did you not get turned up enough? Right?
No, I didn't get turned on because StreamYard's stupid. By the way,
You got turned.
StreamYard, this motherfucker. Jesus Christ. No, dude, because hey, StreamYard, can you not make it to where you have to fucking mute it when somebody plays the video? Can you just play the sound? Because everybody needs to hear it.
I know,
Thanks.
right? Yeah, I hear you there. It's probably like one of those things that maybe we wouldn't have to worry about if we used computers.
That's a good point.
I have to get one of those again someday. Okay, so now I've got a bunch of other Ishbia clips debating where I should start, because frankly, I was frenetically throwing these onto StreamYard before we started and then didn't really put much thought into it behind that. So you know what? I'm just going to, Dan, let's play a game called Let's Just Play Random Clips and see what Dan thinks about it.
Sure. Let's do it.
I'm fine taking the blame, but my job is to set the tone at the top, and I've done it. You can blame me for that, because I've done a bad job. I think I did a great job with the culture, the fan experience, the community, and setting the tone, but I also listen to a lot of the media people and say, oh, the new owner, he's not supposed to get involved, so I almost let the NBA.
Not gonna lie, didn't turn that on until the last 3 seconds.
Would you like me to play it again?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
So how'd you feel about the last 3 seconds?
Look, I will say this about that. So, my favorite baseball podcast, Baseball is Dead. Shout out Jared Carabas and Dallas Braden. Awesome podcast. If you guys love baseball, best one out there. They were kind of talking about it today because for some reason Carabas and Dallas Braden are Suns fans. One's from Boston and one's from Sacramento, but whatever. I think they're more like casual Suns fans. but Suns fans
Dallas
nonetheless.
Braden
So
probably lives here.
Dallas Braden does not live here. He lives in Sacramento.
Well, you said he's from there. That doesn't necessarily mean he lives there.
He's also the color guy for the A's. So
Probably lives up that way then.
yeah. But anyway, no, they brought it up, and because they brought up the subject of how the Ishbia brothers have actually upped their ownership stock in the White Sox. And then they kind of just went on a little bit of a rant. I mean, these are baseball guys, so you can take it with a grain of salt. But basically, they were like, "Oh, ever since he's gotten there, he's fired 3 coaches. He's done this. He's done that. He's done, he's come in. He signed Kevin Durant. And he's got nothing to show for it. That is the epitome of dysfunction, something along those lines, right?" And it's crazy that these guys who are all baseball guys, and I assume could be relatively knowledgeable about other sports. But it's just crazy that it's gotten that widespread. That's a perception, right? And they always say perception is reality. People look at that when you don't win, people are going to look at every single angle as to why you're not winning. And it all has to stop. It's the head of the snake, right? And that's Matt Ishbia. He bought the team. He came in. He made big changes, big splashes, and it hasn't worked out. So I think it's kind of ridiculous that people are taking shots at him as an owner. I would hope they could look at some of the good things he's done. Um, I mean, people used to bitch about Robert Sarver being cheap. So this guy comes in, he has money, he's trying to spend his money to win. So that's a change. He may not be able to. He may eat some humble pie and say, "Hey, maybe I can't be the one calling the shots. Maybe I can't be the one orchestrating all this stuff. Maybe I'm just a voice in the room." Kind of like a recruiter in some sort, in some sense. But I think maybe it's time for him to hire a president of basketball operations. I think James Jones is that already. I'll be honest with you, and I don't want to get into, oh, we should fire James Jones, but I am a little surprised that James Jones has still kept his job this long. I mean, from all accounts, he's the one that's hired the coaches. He's also the one that fired the coaches. And I mean, Ishbia might be giving him like some slack, because I feel like Ishbia was the one that pushed through that KD trade, because I think James Jones didn't want to trade both the twins, right? So he was probably holding out, and Ishbia came in. He's like, "No, we're gonna get Kevin Durant. Let's do it." And he said, "Fuck it." So he did it. So I mean, I admire him for taking the swings. I think, and hindsight's 2020, but I think I would have to say that his biggest mistake or fuck up, I think, was the Bradley Beal trade. And don't get me wrong, at the moment, I was all for it. I think everyone was. You were trading an old Chris Paul and a bunch of second round picks for Bradley Beal. And I mean, yeah, you also had to take on the contract, and I think obviously that's the biggest hindrance right now. But I think that was a mistake. Looking back at it again, hindsight 2020, coulda, woulda, shoulda. I think we were all excited when they made the trade. I think we all said, "Oh, the contract sucks," but we'll take a swing at it anyway. So I think that's kind of his biggest. I think that really fucked us, that Bradley Beal trade. I don't know if this can happen. I don't know the bargaining agreement like you guys do. But if you trade a player with a no trade, let's say you acquire a player with a no trade clause, is there any way you can rescind that no trade clause, can negotiate that out as part
Yeah.
of the trade? Why the fuck didn't the Suns do that?
Bartelstein said that there wasn't even a request when
That's
the trade
insane.
was made. It also could be because they assumed he wouldn't do it, which I don't blame him. When you say his biggest, are you talking about Ishbia or James Jones?
I think as a collective front office.
Yeah, but it's interesting because Ishbia was asked about his role in this stuff, and we'll play the clip here in a little bit.
God damn it! Let me
But
push the button.
he basically said he doesn't really get involved in the he's in the room, but he's not involved in the decision making when it comes to the basketball stuff. Now, here's
calling shenanigans on that one.
You look at it though from a perspective. It's like, okay, The Bradley Beal trade is one that you look at and it's like, guys, that didn't quite work out. You look at things like throwing in Tomani Kamara, right, in the DA trade. Obviously a guy though, but here's the thing: is like James Jones has showed he has a propensity, right, for making Jalen Smith aside, decent, solid draft picks, right? Now,
Sure.
the thing that always struck me as odd about the Kamara thing is if it's true that he didn't necessarily really have to be in there or whatever, James Jones drafted him. Like, why would he be so easy to throw him in there if it wasn't him making the decision to do that, right? Now, one thing I feel like doesn't get talked about often, and maybe that's for a reason. Is it okay? Yes.
Real quick, I just want to twist the knife a little bit. Could you imagine Ryan Dunn and Tamani Kamara fucking wreaking havoc?
Well, I don't think we'd have both of them. I think we'd probably be looking at something different. Like you can't, like that's the thing, you can't play that game because like
I want to though,
right? Like not everything. The world doesn't exist in a vacuum.
Not everything's linear. I get it.
So
let me dream, goddammit.
I feel like doesn't get talked about enough is, do you remember when that Beal trade went down and on the way out of town, some of the comments Chris Paul made and how he said that. You don't remember this at all? How he
I don't
said
remember
that
this
Matt
at all.
and Isaiah have a different vision.
Oh, that's right. And then everybody thought that Isaiah Thomas was going to be he's going to have some kind of role in the front office, which he probably was going to, like when we look back at that.
Dude, but this is well after remember, dude, hold on. Let's step back. Matt Ishbia announced that Isaiah Thomas was going to have a role shortly after he bought the team. And then
I remember
that backlash came and he was like,
and he's like, just kidding.
And then fast forward, this is a year after he bought
6 months.
6 months. And that's the comment that Chris Paul makes on the way out of town. I'm just saying is do we know how much autonomy? Because remember, James Jones is a carryover, right?
Yeah.
Do we know how much autonomy there is there? And it's something that, again, doesn't get discussed much, but I don't know, man. Chris Paul's not a guy that seems like the type that would just throw out willy-nilly comments for the sake of like he seems calculated. From somebody who tends to operate in a calculated manner, he seems calculated. Okay. So I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Anyway.
Yeah.
More Matt Ishbia clips. I'll stop with my conspiracy theories if you want.
How many more clips do we have?
Do you want clips? Or do you want more comments from Darth Voida, like the Dan Gun Show?
What? I'm gonna go fucking put on a shirt. I swear to God.
Dan feels sexually harassed. Look, we're on YouTube. Let's see. This is what's crazy. Think about this. We start broadcasting on YouTube, and we've now created like Bashful Dan and Spicy P. What is happening?
Bashful Dan? I'm not bashful.
I don't know, you just said you're gonna go put on a shirt. Bashful. Anyway, you want another clip?
Stop naming doors.
Let's just play another clip. I'm gonna play another clip. Hold on. Actually, I'm going somewhere. So as I played that last clip that you did not listen to, it occurred to me what I did want to kind of discuss, because it kind of goes hand in hand with this, how much involvement, how involved is Ishbia in basketball decisions, Ishbia decisions, and what have you. And this is a clip here kind of from the very beginning of his press conference today, if I recall correctly. Dan, you ready to turn it up so you can hear it? Ready?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Ready?
You know, I want to put a team out there on the court that everyone's proud of. And proud of has to have an identity that's, you know, similar to Phoenix, you know, with some little bit of grit, some determination, some work ethic, some grind, some joy, you know, and so we just haven't had that. We did it a different way and it didn't work. And so I will do a better job as the owner of setting the tone on the vision. Just like there's other organizations, you can talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers, you kind of know what they mean when you talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers, or even my old team, Michigan State basketball, you kind of know what you're going to get when you talk about Michigan State basketball. What is Phoenix Suns basketball? And so that's on me. That's a change that's coming, and it will be undeniable. You will know the difference next year.
Damn. Yeah. So I think there's a lot to ooh there. I think there's also a lot to Ooh, there. But I'm interested in your. I don't remember your ooh tone exactly now. Too many oohs.
Um, well,
Yours was
you
an
know,
intrigued ooh, if I do recall.
you know what I've told you what I want, right?
It like in life or
Jesus Christ, no! Like as far as the front office.
um yes, but pretend like you haven't told me. I don't remember.
Okay, Matt Ishbia is paying 3 head coaches. Their Suns are gonna after next season. I think the Suns are gonna pay head coaches like $25 million or something stupid like that. Um, just based off the guys they fired and whatever the new coach,
Sounds
maybe
about
even
right.
more. I would love if Matt Ishbia threw a bag of cash at Bob Myers and said, "Hey, come work here." Maybe I know James Jones is the head of basketball operations. Maybe there's a higher position. You fucking create one. I don't care. But Bob Myers built he exactly what he's talking about, the grit and all that shit he built in Golden State. Now, granted, yes, you had Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Obviously, you need talent. We have fucking Devin Booker. So, we're already ahead of the curve there as far as like the rebuild. That's who I want. He seems like a smart basketball guy. He's not. He's working for ESPN or ABC right now. I don't know who. Um, but I'm willing to bet he's probably getting the itch a little bit to get back into a front office. You don't do that job without wanting. I mean, hell, we just saw what's his name, Joe Dumars get the job in New Orleans, right? All these guys, they have the itch. They have egos, right? They think they can fix something. That's what I want. You can agree or disagree.
I mean, I don't know that it's like I think it's silly to disagree. Um, but I guess okay. So what does that mean? Or does this have anything to do with this whole HB Vision thing? Like when he's like, what are the Phoenix Suns? He wants to have grit. He wants like I listened to him say that stuff, and I'm like, what exactly is he getting at there? Um, And is that Bob Myers then? Is that like, okay, well, we're going to build the franchise in a whoever this next GM is going to be, it's going to be, in the mold of what they want to see, which makes sense. And I guess the question then becomes, okay, if Matt Ishbia is not the guy making basketball decisions, and this last clip here when he's talking about how there has to be a vision, a direction of the franchise and what have you, and he wants to be the one spearheading that. Is that concerning at all, or is that more just he's the owner saying what an owner's going to say? It's just a matter of him putting the right people in place. If he puts Bob Myers in place and Bob Myers turns out to be the right guy, then that's Matt Ishbia's vision putting the right
Sure.
culture in place, right?
Well, yeah, and I mean, with any successful business owner, I mean, Matt Ishbia didn't make billions of dollars by being stupid, right?
Yeah.
But I'm sure there was some trial and error in that, just like there is with anything. Sometimes you fuck up, you think you know it, and guess what? You don't know shit, and you get humbled a little bit. So I'm kind of hoping that's what he means. Like I'm hoping he's smart enough to say, "Hey, Bob Myers, here, I'm giving you Devin Booker, build around him." And build around him with minimal first round draft picks and no flexibility on the cap. I mean, I'm sure they'll do something with Bradley Beal. They'll probably end up waving and stretching him. So, um, yeah, I don't.
But
That's just
no, let me play counterpoint here.
oh boy,
Well, we've gone Monty Williams as coach, and obviously that worked out until it didn't.
right.
Frank Vogel as coach
I
did
would say
not work.
overall, Monty Williams was a good Suns basketball coach.
Dude, yeah, well, I mean, look back now, it's like, oh, Monty. Um, but obviously, blah, right?
Yeah.
Now, those are all kind of like
Hold on, but
these are all.
you know what Bud reminded. Sorry, you know what Bud reminded me of the hire now after the fact that he got fired. It reminded me a lot of Terry Porter.
Oh, Jesus, I mean, that seems a bit much. Like,
How?
I mean, Bud did win a championship.
No. I'm just talking about the way it played out, right? Oh shit! Like we got the right guy. This is the guy to lead the team. But this is what we need. And then it just was not
I don't
good.
remember. I personally do not recall ever being nearly as excited about Harry fucking Porter
And
as I was about
Jesus
Bud.
Christ!
What?
Listen,
I'm just,
you're fucking lowering again. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is the way it played out reminds me a lot of Terry Porter, right? The Suns thought they had the right guy. They had the right guy to lead the team, and then it just was not good. Except Bud made it to the end of the season, and Terry Porter did not.
I
I'm not
understand.
comparing coaches. I'm not comparing
I'm just
coaches.
saying but I'm just saying that I like if you're saying like excitement, because like, okay, at a very baseline.
No. I'm not talking about fans. I'm not talking about fans as excitement level. You're that's what I'm saying. I think that's where you're missing me.
So you're saying the Suns were as excited about Bud as they were about
Motherfucker. You know what? Let's move on
I just
to
don't
the
know.
next subject. You know exactly what I'm talking about, but
No,
the
I
next
don't. I
subject, please.
literally, well, I said I personally wasn't. You said you're not talking about fans. So then I said, okay, the Suns. And then you say, no, that's not it. So what is it?
Who the
I'm just
fuck
trying to
said
understand.
who the fuck said excited ever? No one said the word
You said
excited.
they found the right guy.
They thought they found the right guy.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not
So,
saying the excitement level was
so
through
then
the
are you
roof. I'm
saying
saying like,
that's the first time the Suns have thought they found the right guy since Terry
dude,
Porter? Like,
let's
isn't that the
fucking
same thing
move
with
on.
every coach?
Please. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Okay.
Please. Let's move on.
Fair enough. What do you want to talk about next?
No, just what's the next Matt Ishbia clip, please?
I'm out of them now.
Oh,
I don't
thank
have
God.
any more.
Thank God.
No, you're wrong. I have so many more actually. I just feel like, see, like I feel like this is unfair. I'm not lawyering. I'm simply trying to understand. Like, I'm clearly not understanding. Can people not explain it to me? I'm trying.
Hey, chat. Can you guys please?
Although
Hey, did you guys understand what I was talking
Gavin
about?
here. Nobody's responding now. Dan says, Voidus has sustained. I don't know. Anyway, we'll move on. I'm afraid, a little afraid to use the word excited.
Why?
Because I love you. That's all. Let's see here. What clip
Oh,
should I
fuck,
play
man.
next? I don't know why, but this one tickled me when Ishbia said it. So he's asked
Where
about
did it tickle you, Justin?
in the funny bone. He's asked about his role in basically like personnel decisions, right? Kind of what we're talking about. You ready?
Hold
Dan?
on. Go.
Like, you think I interviewed Ryan Dunn and watched his film and watched 100 Hours of Work and called his college coach and decided that we wanted Ryan Dunn last year? No.
I don't know why. I just thought when he was like, you think I interviewed Ryan Dunn? And then he followed through with this, followed up with this.
Like, you think we sign a free agent and like, oh, this free agent's going to be fit? Like,
Fuck, I missed it.
Now you ready? Sorry, no, you ready?
Like, you think we sign a free agent and like, oh, this free agent's going to be fit? Like, you think Matt Ishbia is watching film and seeing, like, is this guy going to, like, I'm not good enough to do that. I'm not watching film and deciding this guy's going to be a good fit because his mentality is like, that's not me.
So here's what I'm going to say about Matt Ishbia and the way he responded to, hey, what's your role? The way he was so like, oh my God, it's insane to even think I would do that, tells me he's very, very involved in it, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, dude.
Like, I also love how he's like, you think Matt Ishbia is watching film? I love that laugh. Killed
He
me
went
the first
third.
time I heard it.
Bro, he went third person.
Right, dude. Like, I'm like,
That's fucking wild, man.
So Matt Ishbia was basically like, hey, we should trade back and draft Ryan Dunn. Look, man, hey, okay, obviously I think I'm being flippant. I don't think he's that involved, but I think he's obviously far more involved than he's trying to let on.
Right.
But
well, because he doesn't want to look like a jackass, right? I get that. He's backtracking a little bit.
Well, and maybe almost it's here's how I'm gonna frame it, because if I'm him, this is how I'd be framing it to myself. I need to put it this way so I follow through at this, because maybe to your point, it's been a learning lesson for him, right? Learning lesson, a learning curve. It's been a lesson.
Humbling for him.
If of course he's been involved. And look, ultimately, I think it's literally impossible, Daniel. Didn't even see you do that. Impossible, Daniel, to say that he's not involved when, like you talked about earlier, oh, we just traded for Kevin Durant like 2 days after he bought the team.
Right?
That's
Yeah.
weird. And to the point of James Jones's uh, um, autonomy or lack thereof, or limited autonomy, I think that demonstrates it quite well. Because I mean, look, for everything we all heard around that time, after that time, James Jones didn't want to include both twins, right? And everything I always heard again after that was, had we held out until the offseason, maybe we wouldn't have had to. But look, this is all ancient history at this point, but I think it all also kind of comes into play when we start talking about the future of these front office guys, right? And I think it's going to be interesting. Now, the reports are all saying out there that James Jones's contract is in fact up. Now, when I say reports, I don't know that maybe I'm being too firm with the word report, because it's been said on outlets, but I don't know if anyone has officially reported saying, yeah, it's officially up. But regardless, if it
Is that
is,
is that not public knowledge, like public record? You can't just look that up.
no, they usually don't. Like, if you go back and look at when James Jones signed his extension, like there's nothing out there that says how long the
Oh,
extension is for. But that being
guess you can't get
said,
that on Spot Track, huh?
no, and is it Spot Track?
Yeah, I just don't think they wanted to add both T's, bro. They
I
just
always
wanted to.
feel like it's. I feel like I always say, maybe this is me being me, weird.
This is you being you.
Spo Track,
Yep, this is you being you. It's not grammar class, man. It's
Spot
just
Rack, Spot the Rack.
you're supposed to say it fast. Spot Track.
Here we go. Let's see. I feel like Juan Carlos, I haven't looked yet, but I feel like he usually has solid insight. Let's see. Juan Carlos says maybe Ishbia wasn't fully involved in draft selections and some free agents, but it's clear to me he was fully in charge with KD and Beal trades. And
I could see that.
I'm on board with that. But then it also, because okay, well then the question also becomes, maybe this is a strong statement, but then Matt Ishbia, okay, this is what that was going to be strong. I was going to say Matt Ishbia basically lied to everybody when he's saying that, right, in the press conference today. But like, he's got to walk the company line. He's got to toe the company line. He's got to say what he has to say. But at the same time, perhaps he's saying that entirely truthfully, because he's not directly involved, but input from him through a proxy, if you will. Anyway, I just think it'll be interesting to see what happens this offseason. I think what will also be really interesting to see is what happens with James Jones, because again, A, we don't know what kind of autonomy or lack thereof he has behind the scenes, and B, we have to say that while there have been misses, he's shown a propensity for making some right moves, and C, he's still a relationship guy too. Remember, he's a former player that's well respected in the NBA. So
Yeah.
if he's not going to be with the team, it's got to be done in the right way.
Yeah.
And if he's going to be with the team, then fantastic. Look, I for one, I love the fact that James Jones is with the team, and I frankly, I'd like him to still be with the team.
Yeah, I got nothing
Um,
against James Jones.
but I also would like, if he's not the general manager, I like that actually is possibly one of the points that I'm less concerned with, because we can also see that James Jones, I think, perhaps is evolving as a GM. And maybe that's to some degree forced hand, but he always used to be very flippant about drafts and draft picks, and now look, we've got a G League team, and now look, Matt Ishbia today said multiple times, talked about scouts, like, so okay, maybe things are
So
turning there, but who knows? Yes, could
about
also
that.
just be
Also,
walking the line.
for where they were picked, Ryan Dunn and Oso, they look like solid contributors. Okay, I'll give them
For
that.
sure.
You know, love both those guys. Um, also from Chandler. Shout out. Um, about the scouting department. Am I remembering things incorrectly? But did Matt Ishbia not fire the entire scouting department when he took over? Voida, maybe you can help out in the chat since you're more dialed in.
I No, I thought that was all like when we got rid of our G League team, like when it not Ishbia, but Sarver sold it.
Hmm.
Here, Voida does have some insights. He wants to know though, what are your thoughts on Shohei batting leadoff? Like, wouldn't he be more effective in the middle of the lineup? Is it because of ability to steal bases? That's actually really random. I thought there was going to be. Oh,
Hey, Voida, fuck you. But no, you want to give your best hitter the most at bats possible. So why
that's
would you
true.
give him a better chance? That's why Corbin Carroll bats first for the D-backs, not fourth. And also Shohei can steal bases.
So it helps too.
Yeah.
Anyway, more on point, he doesn't recall that 2022 was the gutting. So yeah, so that would have been before Ishbia.
Must have been AI or
yeah.
some shit. Got me.
I mean, dude, think about it. Like, yeah, again, we have a G League team again. There's one thing. And we've got, not only the Suns have the practice facility, right? That was Sarver's time, but now we've also seen Ishbia put more into the Mercury facility, and that's also, I think, where they house a lot of the Suns offices and stuff now too. So, look,
Where's that going to be at?
it's already there, dude. It's south of the arena. I haven't been there yet, but
Oh, okay.
my kid's been there. Oddly enough, why not?
Huh.
But anyway, there's some chapstick there on my lip. Anyway,
Dude,
so
get a hold of yourself, man.
it's tough, man. What is it? Thursday night? I don't even know.
It's all right. Spilled half my beer down my legs, so
So, do you want to know what Matt Ishbia wants in a head coach? Because we started there, we can go back there.
Yeah, let's do that.
Ready?
Yeah.
Obviously, when you've been in the position you're in, you've hired a lot of people. So you know exactly what you're looking for when you make a hire. So what exactly are you going to be looking for moving forward in a head coach?
We're going to look for someone that fits the vision of the Phoenix Suns basketball organization. Someone that's going to live out exactly what I'm talking about. Someone that's a little bit grimy, a little bit grinder, a little bit tough, have a little bit of that in them. I joke, but it's true. Like, I'm no talent, all heart. That's my life. Like, I have no more. I wasn't born with a mortgage. Not like I will just outwork everyone. I'm going to have a coach, a front office, players that the Phoenix community will love, because it's going to be that. It's going to be, we'll hopefully get some talent too. And I'm not saying no talent, right? We got talent and heart and grind, but that's who I am. And so I'm looking for someone that's more aligned with that vision, and I have to define that vision. I'm going to work with the front office, and we're going to work with some of the players and the organization, and say, what does Phoenix Suns basketball really mean? And we're going to get a coach that.
And that's okay. A lot more like reiterating, right? That vision thing, right? It seems to me like Ishbia has, obviously focused in on that concept, and whatever that ultimately means, I guess we'll find out. But I think it's perhaps maybe reading into it too much, but it's like there's that this is why there's that disconnect, right? Like, there's clearly been a disconnect over the past each of the past 3 seasons between the locker room and the head coach to some degree. You talked earlier about Bud not talking to Nurk. Monty did the same thing with DA, and when you have that kind of disconnect, and it's obviously not going to lead to a productive environment. And I think maybe when Ishbia says a vision, he means something where everyone's like-minded, and you kind of hear him talk about it like he's looking for somebody who's gritty and grimy and grindy. I think is what he said.
It's a lot of ease.
Sounds like a Freaky Friday night to me, if you ask.
Sounds like a Tuesday night to me. That's what it sounds like.
Hey, you know what, bro? You live a different life than the rest of us, buddy. It's okay. But like, I guess he's cohesiveness is what I hear him trying to say, right? He wants to get a bunch of people together who are going to share a vision, and I think you see Bud and his fucking disconnect with Devin Booker.
Motherfucker.
That was calm down, Daniel. It's okay. The AirPod will be found. There it is. The disconnect, telling Devin Booker not to be so vocal.
That was crazy,
right,
dude.
like you can't have two people being so diametrically opposed in what they're how they're perceiving something and how they want something addressed, when they have such important roles. And I think that's what Ishbia is trying to make sure he avoids this time is that type of disconnect. And I think that means, he said it at the end of that clip right there. He alluded to players, talking to players, talking to front office, talking to players, and that at this point, man, I think like Devin Booker's got to be involved in these discussions.
Oh yeah,
because I think everybody in the past with both Vogel and Bud will at least assume that Book, KD, those guys, and we haven't talked about KD. We can still both assume he's going to be gone this offseason, and that's fine. It is what it is. But Book, obviously, like having some say in there. But the way it's gone, it's like I wonder how true that is. Like the complete lack of a relationship it seemed like there was between Book and Bud makes me think that Book like had no say in that, or maybe he was just bamboozled like the rest of us by Bud at the beginning of it all. But ultimately, like, I don't care who the coach is next year. I just want to know that Devin Booker's on board with it, and I also want to know that they recognize this. What I think Paul's astutely pointed out, and that's you can't have three dudes on these max deals and get them to put together a winning franchise, a winning team around them.
Especially when one doesn't seem
realized.
to care if he plays or not, or if he sucks or not, or what
Dude,
they say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like Bradley Beal's aloofness as the season wore down became
Insane, dude.
shocking. Like,
Bro, the Warriors game when Steph Curry hit a 3 in his face and he was like
he was
laughing with him.
That
I'm like, you know what? Fuck this guy. Fuck that guy. I don't fucking think so.
there
Get
it
the
is.
fuck out of my state, dude.
Fuck this guy. Yeah, well, by all accounts, you heard what Gambo said, right?
Yeah, 0% chance he's not going to be here next
0%
season.
chance.
So it sounds like he's going to get waived and stretched.
Nope. They can't.
So they're going to,
unless he takes. I mean, they could in theory waive and stretch him if they could buy out and stretch it basically.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what they're going to do. What else? They can't trade
They might
him.
not stretch. We'll see. There's.
Look, I don't care. I don't. Whatever. If they can't,
be gone
they can't.
one way or the other.
Yeah,
is what the expectation is. However, it's going to be. Yeah,
I just don't think you can trade that.
Buyout, but you buy out. No, it's going to be a buyout, but I don't know that there's going to necessarily be a stretch proponent to it because it just might be a straight buyout.
So wait, so if they just buy him out, so they're fucked.
How?
Because if they buy him out, he still goes against the salary cap, right?
Not all of it.
So it's a wave and stretch.
No,
I'm so confused.
I don't understand how you're.
Okay, so how can you buy him out? Okay,
if you
buy him
wave
out.
and stretch, you're not buying out. Like, okay, the only way because okay, let's step back. If we wanted to wave and stretch him, just straight wave and stretch him, we cannot because you can only wave and stretch. It's something like 15% of your cap, and we already have some dead money from whoever we wave and stretch. Nas Little, we waved and stretched before.
Oh,
so we can't wave and stretch.
That.
I don't know if it was Nas Little, but somebody we waved and stretched before. So we cannot wave and stretch him.
Okay.
He can be bought out, and now he's on. So he's got 2 years left on his deal, but next year, not this upcoming season, but the season after is a player option.
Okay.
So if I'm not mistaken, if he's bought out of his year, like he can it's effectively waiving that player option year. If he gets bought out.
Gotcha.
And if he wants to leave so badly, like And from what I've heard, like their structuring of contract, he's thinking on the back end, he could pick up a contract, he could, pick up some of that money, yada 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 yada. But long and short of it, there seems to be enough motivation for him to want to get out of Phoenix. That's the route it's apparently going to go, and I believe that would, in the very least, get us under the second apron.
Okay, and
But I don't know.
explain.
Sure.
But explain that to me. So how is buying him out saving us money this coming season if it's
Because
only getting rid of that player option?
if he was gonna be no, his this upcoming year he's gonna make like $53 million or whatever. The
Fuck.
following season is his player option,
Right.
right?
I understand
So we
that.
buy him out this year and we pay him $25 million. That means we have $25 million against our cap as opposed to 50.
Wait, hold on. How does it go from 50 to 25? That's what I'm not understanding. How is it cheap? Like, why is
Because
it
he
cheaper?
has to agree to a buyout for that amount. That's why
Oh,
you don't see buyouts like that, dude. Like, and this,
I
so there, and that's why, like, it's Paul said this in our chat the other day. I think it was Paul that basically Bradley Beal's almost like the new mid-level exception, or something like that, right? But because of
right.
this, if you look at that type of money in the past, like, who was it? Russell Westbrook, I think it was a couple of years ago, was on a pretty big deal and got bought out. But he gave up like $1.3 million on the buyout. From what I'm hearing, if there's any benefit to actually buying him out for the Suns, I think they actually have to get him to accept a pretty significant reduction.
And that's my point. Like, so they're
And
basically
I, um, I
so
hear you.
like they're basically telling Bradley Beal, "Hey, you suck. We don't like you. You've been shit here, but we're not like you have to agree to for us to not pay you $75 million." Like that's basically what he has to agree. Why the fuck would he agree to that? He obviously doesn't care what people say about him. He obviously doesn't care if his teammates don't like him. So
So
why the fuck would he forego that? That's my
I
point.
think yeah, and I had this. So I had the same conversation with
Hey,
some
can
of
you
the
put that back
guys.
up? Can you put that back up? I didn't get to read it.
I nailed it. Bingo, Justin nailed it.
No, dude, can you fucking put the other stuff back? God damn it.
It's not the one you wanted. I'll read it. Here, I'll read it. Darth Void says his salary this year, and this is talking about Beal if he's
Okay,
bought out. His salary this year would still count against the cap, but this year alone, seeing as the option was not exercised, the exercise year being the
right,
27,
right, and
26, 27 season.
right, and that was my point all along. So we're fucked either way for next season. We're paying him $53 million either way.
No, not if we buy him out.
That makes no fucking sense. How is he gonna? Okay, Bradley Beal has a no trade clause. He doesn't give a fuck if he sucks. We've seen that. So you're telling me the Suns are going to go to him and say, "We're buying you out for $25 million," and he's just going to be like, "Okay."
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think
That
that's a
makes no fucking
difficult sell
sense,
too.
dude.
But here's what I've been told the logic is, and I might be saying this wrong, but is okay, he's gonna take 25 million, right now, right? And he's basically leaving $75 million on the table over this year and then
Hmm.
next year, right?
Okay, sure.
And I think the idea is he thinks he's going to be able to get a deal on the market that's going to be like a 3-year 75
Mm.
million. So there he makes up that $75 million that way.
And
But
gets out of
now
Phoenix.
but now he gets out of Phoenix, but then of course he's making then that $100 million over 3 years instead of two. But I guess he still makes the money. And ultimately, look, if he just played out if he played like shit next season, then opted in and play like shit again, what kind of contract's he getting after that $100 million?
True,
So he
true.
might be sitting in the same boat either way and get to
Huh.
actually have some control where he goes.
I mean,
Actually, now that I say it out loud, it makes more sense to me. I should probably be, selling this to Bradley Beal. Matt
but
Ispia, hey, you know what? I told him if he had some time, hop on the pod tonight. He didn't respond. I see how it is.
fuck.
Played all these clips.
Dude, I just is Bradley Beal's not getting 3 years, $75 million from anyone. Who's going to pay him that much?
Hold on. Here, I'm gonna send Voida a link. He says he's gonna come on. Apparently, I didn't explain it well enough. I feel offended.
Fuck. It's just you explain it fine, but
Well, maybe
Bradley
not. I
Beal.
don't know if I'm
But no,
right.
no, 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 no. You did. It doesn't like that's not the point. Like you did, but Bradley Beal is never going to agree to any of this shit. That's my point. Why the fuck would he? I wouldn't. That'd be stupid. I don't give a fuck how much. Like I don't give a fuck how bad I suck. How much everyone hates me. If you're telling me I have to forego $75 million, I'm gonna tell you to eat a dick.
Please, or are you just gonna?
Did you?
Oh,
No.
oh, hold on. No. Okay, I think he said no. Never mind.
Oh. Okay.
Oh,
You got shy.
no. Voida said he's tied up. Oh, hold on.
He's tied. He's tied up. Tell him to tell his wife to untie him.
Well, doesn't seem my place. I don't know really what to say.
What is
To that.
freak? That's what it sounds like.
Hold on. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh no, he said I see. I apparently I nailed that too. Ozzy says, Gavin, Ozzy Suns fans says he thinks he would, and then he says he isn't foregoing $75 million. Look, man, I don't know, dude. All I know is Gambo said 0%, and he's emphatically said it over and over again. So I'm gonna believe that's gonna happen because like that's
Okay.
like he's leaning into it pretty heavily.
I
However
just
it's
feel
gonna
like though
happen,
I
yeah.
just feel like the way that was explained, like the way like I understood it. I'm not you don't need to explain it again. I get it. I just feel like so many more teams would do that. So like just because the Suns are in a bad situation, the players all of a sudden gonna say yes. Like
Yeah,
I don't
but
see it.
can you think of a player who's kind of been in the same boat? Like,
I mean,
and
wasn't Jimmy Butler just in that fucking boat not that long ago?
yeah, but he doesn't have. I don't know that it's the same boat because people actually wanted to trade for him.
That's a good point. I mean, we tried to. Um, I don't know, man. I just don't like. Nobody's gonna pay Bradley Beal $75 million.
Here's what
You know
like.
who Bradley Beal's gonna be after this contract? He's gonna become Ben Simmons.
Well, and I think that's what he is trying to avoid becoming Ben Simmons right now. Because if you think about it, okay, again, look, he's how old is Brad Beal? Do we know? Do you know offhand?
He's gotta be 30,
30?
31, 30, 31.
Give me a second. Looking it up. 31. Okay. So
Oh,
let's
I
think
nailed
about
it.
it. If
How
that's
come
well
nobody
done.
puts that in the chat?
So nobody said anything about it, but maybe they will
No,
soon.
well, fuck.
So let's think about it like this. So he's 31 right now, right?
Yeah.
Let's say he's looking at this going, okay, I sit here and make $100 million in Phoenix and get out of this contract when I'm 33 with another 100 million in my pocket, 110 million roughly.
Sure.
And then I'm going to come out Ben Simmons, maybe getting a minimum deal because I'm not going to fucking play, or I'm going to, or like a mid-level exception, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Or he's and that's at the age of 33.
Okay.
So he's all of a sudden coming into like a prove yourself contract at age 33, right?
Sure.
Whereas if he opts out now, or if he gets bought out now for whatever percent of the contract value, and he's able to get now, and I'll comment on this further in a second, he's able to get this deal that's going to be a 3-year, $25 million, something along those lines. He's still going to come out of that in his age 34, or maybe having one more contract. He's able to prove it or not, right?
Yeah.
But I get the sense like if Gambo's that sure of it, and if that's actually how it ultimately is going to play out, then I feel like there's got to be some sort of sense out there from Bradley Beal's camp already that there is going to be some level of interest to that degree.
Man.
And let's not forget, do you remember who Bradley Beal's agent is?
Yeah. How the Jesus.
And for
Man,
people that
look,
don't know, it's Mark Bartelstein, who's Josh Bartelstein's dad.
fuck.
I'm saying that's, I'm not saying there's anything that's inappropriate going on. I'm just saying can't hurt.
Listen. I get what you were saying about that. Like that makes sense, but my point about him being Ben Simmons, I think he's Ben Simmons now. I don't think anybody thinks Bradley Beal
Maybe.
can.
Well,
I
maybe.
think Bradley Beal gets the mid-level exception if he agree. I think agreeing to that buyout would be a stupid ass mistake on Bradley Beal's end.
You know what's funny? You want to hear something great? Like when all of this was told to me the first time, I was saying all the same stuff you're saying, and I don't disagree with you. Unless he knows that he has that type of deal out there available to him. And that's why I'm saying perhaps
Yeah,
that's the case,
maybe.
because otherwise, dude, it's like it's $100 million, bro, $110 million.
Yeah, what the fuck,
Phoenix,
dude?
Phoenix is kind of dope. Like,
Nobody
why
likes
not?
me here, but fuck it.
Whatever. We're like a hoodie, and like nobody will notice. It's
Yeah,
fine. I don't know. So
crazy.
that's that.
So, are we gonna talk about who the Suns' next coach is?
You can if you want to.
Oh, you don't want
Oh,
to?
I mean, we can, we will, and we should, because I think it kind of ties into, and this is what I was getting at with the Bob Myers thing earlier, and I think we got sidetracked somehow. Go figure. But the kind of hey, this is the tried and true coach approach has been obviously tried and not true and not worked out, right? Like, are we
Mm,
just moving that up the ladder by hiring a Bob Myers? Yeah,
no.
no, that's crazy. I agree.
Bob
I agree.
Myers won.
Bob
How
Myers
many
is different.
championships did he
Yeah,
win?
no, I don't know.
But see, like I don't. Okay, I get what, and Paul said this before in our group chat, like the retread head coach. I understand Bud being a retread head coach. He's coached in several stops, right? He was in Atlanta, he went to Milwaukee, and he went to Phoenix. Same thing with Vogel. Vogel was Indiana. He was what? Indiana. He coached the Magic too, right? Didn't he? Coached
I don't remember.
Indiana, the Magic, and the Lakers, and then came the Suns, or was it the Hornets? I don't know. But he coached several teams. Myself, when I that's to me, that's a retread head coach, right?
Okay,
That's a retread. Have been fired a few places already, and like a couple places, and then he comes to you.
but to be
My,
fair though, also like Bud, but when Bud was fired, they were in first place in the East, right? Or no, they just got eliminated
they got
in the
eliminated in the first
playoffs, but
round. Yeah.
they were the one seed, and his brother just died.
Okay.
So in
Whatever.
a car accident. I'm
That
just
I
saying,
don't care.
like, I feel like that
That
was
was mean. It's not that I
that's
don't
not
care
like,
about
but
that
I'm just
part. I
saying that's
just
not like I'm just saying it's not like he got fired because they did so like there are circumstances there. But I get what
that's
you're saying.
fine.
I get what you're saying.
But that's besides the point. That's not my point. My point is, I think those guys are different from a John Voida or a Michael Malone.
I see what you did
You
there.
know,
Because Taylor
it's
Jenkins looks exactly like John
no
Voida.
Taylor Jenkins. Hey, and what the
Is
fuck?
John Voida. My bad.
Whoever the fuck said that? I've been saying Voida, you can attest to this. I texted Voida like back in 2020, and I was like, "When the fuck did you start coaching the Grizzlies?" And then now people are like, "Oh, he looks like John Voida." Fuck you guys, Jake. I'm talking to you.
I feel like I don't know that anyone's ever taken the credit that I feel like I remember that, and I feel like that was always properly,
No. Jake tried to steal. Jake tried to say, yeah.
you know,
That's what Jake
Jake
does.
Jake, yeah,
That's why I don't hang out. That's why I won't hang out with him.
it does not surprise me at all, actually, from that guy. Jeez Louise.
But
Unbelievable.
anyway, I think I think it's different. I don't know. Maybe you disagree. I think it's different. I feel like Michael Malone, there was like that weird rift he had with the GM about how they should fucking what offense they should run or whatever the fuck. And I'm like, you have Nikola Jokic. Why are you guys even fucking talking about what offense you need to run? Taylor Jenkins, like he's been dealing with all that weird shit with John Morant, all the other stuff. It's like to me, I don't think those guys fall in the same category as retread head coach. I just don't. Like I like Bud, I get Bogle, I get like someone like Doc Rivers, right? How many stops has Doc Rivers had, right? Yes, he's won a championship, but that's to me that's a retread head coach.
Taylor Jenkins, I kind of feel like would make more sense. Mike Malone he kind of gives me too much Mike Budenholzer vibes, to be honest. Like he seems
Really?
like
Huh?
slightly less drunk uncle to me.
Huh? Interesting.
Gavin has a question for you. Gavin obviously wasn't here earlier when you explained about the don't give an Aussie
Hey,
your phone and tell him not to like a
can
picture.
can we not fucking bring that up on a live YouTube stream?
You already did.
Yeah, but again,
My bad.
like Jesus.
Okay, now Gavin's last comment, and then he's going to sleep, I think. Our next coach, Chris Paul. No,
Gavin will still be drunk from this past weekend.
he might be. He might be. Well, I mean, so Dan, who do you want it to be?
I want Taylor Jenkins. That's my choice.
Can I interest you in?
Don't fucking say fucking David
I
Fizdale.
was going
Like
to say
he.
Taylor Jenkins.
No, you weren't.
No, I wasn't.
What were you gonna say? You were gonna say fucking David Fizdale.
No,
Did he not get
well,
fired? He did not. Did the whole coaching staff not get fired?
actually, that's a good point. I haven't heard about David Fizdale being fired yet, probably because they're still like seeing if all of his stuff will fit in the head coach's office. No, I don't think it'll be Fizz either at this point. You know what, man? I don't know. Let's go crazy. Hire no, I don't know. I honestly,
You know who would have been a great fucking coach for the Suns, and they could have hired him, but there was too much smoke around him. Ime Udoka.
Isaiah Thomas.
No, dude, Ime Udoka. Fucking god damn it, dude. I'm being serious,
Actually, yeah. Well, now he's in. You know, I was thinking today.
dude.
I was like, what if somehow we trade KD to Houston? Part of the trade is we get
We don't get that's not fucking
Did that
happening.
happen?
No.
Didn't that happen? I feel like that was like it didn't. The coaches have been traded before, wasn't like
Yeah.
Doc Rivers? He got
Doc Rivers got
draft
traded,
picks
yeah,
involved or whatever.
to the Lakers or to the Clippers, and I think they got a pretty good player in that draft pick. I don't remember who that
That's a
player
good question.
ended up being, but I think it is a pretty solid rotation piece.
You know
I
what
think.
I was wondering too? So like,
I wanted to trade for Ty Lue, and you guys fucking told me I was stupid.
did I tell you? Maybe I don't know. It does. I feel like me
Well,
telling you
I
you're
think.
stupid doesn't seem like something I would do. I mean,
Well,
you're
I mean,
stupid doesn't
you
seem like
implied
something I would say.
you implied it. You know, Paul was like, I don't want another retread head coach. I'm like, dude, Ty Lue's not a retread head coach.
Yeah, no. I don't know, dude. Like, who? You know what? Ask Devin Booker who he wants. I'm in.
Like, I don't want like okay, like
Devin
they're
Booker was
telling
coaching.
they're
earlier,
telling
so
me, dude,
just let him do
stop it. He was. Like people are like they're not like Chris Paul's ridiculous. That's never gonna fucking happen, dude. Like, come on. Fucking Jared Dudley, I'm all set. I don't want Jared Dudley. Like this isn't like you don't you're trying to retool, not rebuild. That's a rebuilding coach. Like I don't want like a fucking like you got to have some coach with some pedigree. Like like we can't go back to the let's see if this works out with a fucking assistant coach that has never coached before. Like somebody's got to be a little proven.
Yeah, I think I don't know, man. Like, I think you gotta at this juncture. I feel like, and this maybe sounds crazy because I don't know. These dudes get paid a lot of money to play a game, and it seems like having them motivated and up shouldn't be difficult. But obviously, it's not easy. It's not. They're not. It's not self-motivating. Clearly, for some reason,
Oh, it's a lot of ego involved too.
exactly. But I think they need somebody that's going to be able to handle that, dude. Like. I
Right.
think they need somebody. So we went with, okay. I thought that Bud was going to kind of be the right guy because he was going to kind of be the dude that, and this is kind of to the point of the whole, like he bamboozled us because he seemed like he cared, right? I feel like the Suns need somebody who's going to care, but who's also going to be a prick. They need somebody who's like an asshole with a big heart, if you will, to be their head coach, dude. Like, because they need somebody that's going to say,
Yeah.
hey, you're good. Like, you fucking lost someone, it's fine. But they also need somebody that's gonna like pull your head out of your ass at the same time.
Right.
And I feel like Bud was all one way, just like Monty was kind of all the other. You need to find somebody that's in the middle. And to me, it's like it seems like a dumb thing to say, but I need a guy who's going to be a player's coach, but from the perspective of like a Devin Booker. Like Devin
Right.
Booker's not a player, like dude who's gonna. If you think of a guy that's a player's coach from a Devin Booker type perspective, it's not a guy who's gonna let you do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Right.
It's gonna
Yeah.
be a guy who's gonna vibe.
He's gonna
with
bring the
you,
best
right?
out of you. Yeah, bring the best out of
Exactly,
you.
dude. That's what we need. Like,
Sounds like
I
Taylor
can't wait for next
Jenkins.
season now. Let's go.
Sounds like Taylor Jenkins to me. I just
You know
look,
what,
man.
dude?
Like,
If you're gonna tell me like you throw the names out there of the guys that have been fired recently or guys that might be floating around out there, he's my fave. He's my fave on the
like,
list. But
my thing is like, yeah, I heard Gambo mention they want like a younger like black coach. That like, nah, dude, give me the best fucking coach. Give me the best coach you can fucking get. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't
what did
care.
you
Like,
say?
well, Gambo had mentioned that they wanted to hire a younger black coach.
I thought you said Gambo said like he hopes they do. I was like, that seems like Gambo just like really trying to like, hey, like anyway.
No, dude.
I
But
love
anyway,
Gambo. I'm
like,
just saying, like he's obviously very MAGA. Is all I'm saying. Anyway,
it
move
is what
on.
it is.
Go on,
Some
go
of
on, Dan.
more some of us aren't perfect, you know.
Yeah, like
Um,
Jake knows all about that.
oh shit. Anyway, Jesus. No, yeah, dude. Like, I don't
Jesus would not
like.
have been MAGA. I'm convinced of
Oh my
that.
fucking god! Here we go.
Sorry, I'm gonna mute myself.
Well, now it's weird. Don't unmute yourself. It's fucking weird
Sorry,
when you
I
mute
did the
yourself.
same thing last week. Oh, my
Yeah, and I
dog.
fucking hated it. Oh
Dog
god.
even thought it was weird.
Yeah. No, dude. I just like, to me, it's just they got to find the right guy, somebody that like, and also like, I get what you're saying about Mike Budenholzer bamboozling us all. Another thing about Mike Budenholzer, he's old as fuck, dude. Like, what the fuck is he gonna relate to these guys with? Like I think, to me, like, I like a younger head. Like, look at JJ Redick with the Lakers, right? Obviously, he has LeBron and Lucas, so like, it's different. But at the same time, he's doing the players all respect him. He's doing a good enough job. Same thing with like Dagna and fucking in OKC. Like, same thing, right? Taylor Jenkins is what, maybe in his 40s, early 40s, right? Like, I think it's the older head coaches that are kind of just like that. That doesn't vibe with the newer players these days, man. It just doesn't.
Yeah, Taylor Jenkins is 40.
He's 40. Okay, young, right? For as far as the head coaching standard, like,
Mike
it just,
Budenholzer is 55. I just to be clear, I don't know that it's
God
old as fuck.
damn,
Like
dude,
that seems a bit much.
he's a shot out 55.
I
Good
know, right,
Lord.
dude? He does. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's a
That's gonna
good
be
way
me
of,
in
it's a really
that's
good
gonna
way
be
of putting it.
that's gonna be me in 20 years, man. Fuck that.
Oh, this is interesting. I did not know this. Taylor Jenkins was assistant coach for Bud in Atlanta.
Oh, good. Yeah, he's better coaching
Yeah,
fucking
that doesn't bother me as
Bud.
much as it bothers
Yeah, it
you.
doesn't bother
Um,
me. No. Yeah, sorry, Juan. Juan Carlos Aranda. I gotta do
you,
it once
you,
an
you do
episode
that
for
better
him.
than I do.
I gotta do it once an episode for him.
I like it. I appreciate it.
Hey,
Um, mhm.
hey, also Devin Booker is gonna probably sign a contract extension this offseason that's gonna make him the highest paid player in the NBA. That's crazy.
Yeah. What is that? 2 years, 150 million, something like that.
Yeah, 75 mil a year, dude. Jesus. Woo. But
Yeah.
it's all fun coupons, man. It's all fun coupons. I mean, what's fucking money anymore, right? When you have that much money, what's fucking
Oh, I
money
was
anymore?
like, I don't know what you mean by that.
Well, I mean, when you have that much money,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah, yeah. I got what you're saying. Yeah, no,
But
yeah, it's good for him. Yeah. Look, man. Uh,
I'm not mad at it.
it's kind of interesting. It's like you see everything. Maybe now, like after this year, Book's got the whole like shoe thing behind him, and yeah, we get back to winning some basketball games. I'll ask you this, and then we'll wrap up because we've actually been going for a while already. But I think it was Bickley or one of the guys at 98.7 did a piece where they're basically saying Book needs to come back next year, like killer Book, right? Like
Yeah.
that dude.
Armani mode.
I don't even know. I was going to ask you if you agree with that. That's a stupid question. I was like, obviously, do we that's what we need back. You know what was nice to see though, when KD was out at the end of the season there, like seeing Book kind of go into that
Oh
that
yeah,
that mode
dude.
again, you know.
He was averaging like
It's
35 a game at one point. It's
it's
crazy.
still it's still there. And I think, it's just a matter of like, man, I think it's just and this is the biggest offseason the Suns have had in a while, right? I've said that every single year I have done this
Yeah,
fucking
no, dude.
podcast.
I know, dude.
But
I've been here for a
it's
lot of them.
yeah, and it's really true this year, man. I mean, there are big pieces that need to be moved in order for this to be a competitive team next year. And we'll see. And that's the thing too, is like we got to start worrying, okay, front office. What's the front office going to look like? Because if we need to start looking for a coach, well, where's this coach going to come from? Is it going to be an assistant or somebody who's already on a team that's been eliminated? Or as teams start falling out of the playoffs, there are going to be coaches, coaching candidates. So it's like, seems like we need to start getting our ducks in a row when it comes to the
Yeah.
front office and everything too. So you
Yeah,
would
you don't want to
think
be
we
last
might
to the
start hearing
party.
stuff about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So buckle up, man. We'll have some, I was thinking this off season, we'll have to try to like get some people to come on, some guests to come on with us and chat about stuff. When I say that, I mean like we should get like Bloom to come on.
Oh, that'd be cool.
When I say guests, it's
Love
like
Bloom. I thought you were gonna say Jake. I'm like, fuck no. I'm just kidding,
maybe
Jake.
like the Jake from
I'm
State
being,
Farm.
there you go.
I'll keep working on Matt Ishbia. I'll just keep,
Yeah, dude, keep it going. I do want to say something about what you said about Book. I feel like, because I know this was brought up earlier in the season about how like KD being here took Book's killer instinct. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I think when you have somebody of Kevin Durant's caliber to fucking, you know, I mean, he played with Chris Paul, but Chris Paul is not Kevin Durant, right? Chris Paul's a legend of himself, but he's not KD. KD's one of the greatest scorers of all time. Probably top
giggity.
three, top five. Like
Sorry.
Jesus.
If
And
anybody's ever like ADD is not real, you talk to
yeah,
Justin for
dude.
like 6 minutes and try.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Um, I think, and I don't think that KD took that killer instinct out of him, but I think it without some, like when you don't have anyone, what I'm saying is like, I feel like Book's Batman doesn't need a Robin. I feel like Book's Batman just needs to fucking, he just needs to beat everyone's ass. And you
Yeah.
know what? Just build around him, man. Get some fucking athletic dudes that can run the floor and can play defense. I think you'll be all right, but I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see how this Bradley Beal thing shapes out. I still don't fucking think that I think that seems like a pipe dream to be like, oh, he's just gonna accept his buyout. But we'll see. Stranger
Yeah,
things have
dude.
happened.
Like
There has to be another
that's
shoe that drops.
0%.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I guess in theory they could just waive him. That's what
that
you're that's what you're
I
thinking would
I think
be pointless outside of getting him out of the locker room.
out of the state, but yeah.
I mean, he could stay here. He doesn't have to leave the state. He's not on another
Yeah,
team.
that's true. That's true. Off the basketball team is good enough.
Yep, yep, yep. Well, you know what, dude? We got a long off season ahead of us, and we'll see where things go. But hey, I'm excited. I guess I don't know, man. I'm just like, hey, Diamondbacks look good, right?
And bro, oh my God. Um, Me and you might start something new.
Oh,
Yeah?
Diamondbacks podcast.
Yeah, buddy.
We could call it "Rattling the Flames." I guess it doesn't have to be flames, right? Fanning the snakes doesn't have to be fanning either. Okay, different stuff. Cool,
Yeah,
cool.
we'll get some of our
Oh,
more
I'm gonna
creative friends to help us.
I'm gonna say one more thing. Have you noticed what shirt I'm wearing? Do you know what school it is of?
No, because I can't see it because you have
I
to.
wasn't sure if it like poked up at any point.
No, it didn't. UC Irvine?
Yes. And I'm showing that only so I can show my buddy who went there later that I wore a USAA
Oh,
Irvine shirt on our
okay.
podcast. All right. And you know what, Dan? Last thing I'll tell you is I asked Sam for a question for Dan, but he didn't give me one.
Oh,
Well, he said Suns
is he mad at
related, and
me?
I said whatever, and then he did not respond. So
Oh, so he's not mad at me. He's just
he,
busy.
he's not mad at you. He's just busy. I think that's probably a fair synopsis.
If
Anyway,
you go around life saying, they're not mad at me, they're just busy, you'll have a much happier life.
I love that.
Try that.
I'm
Try
gonna-
that. Try that with your wife sometime. See how that goes.
Yeah, she asked me an interesting question today. She goes, does anybody ask you how like I'm still married to you? And I'm like,
Oh,
surprisingly, sweetheart.
all the time.
Quite often actually. I just say you're an angel. Anyway, all right, Dan.
Oh, Jesus.
Any final thoughts before we wrap up this nearly hour and a half episode of Fanning the Flames? We turned like 8 random clips of Matt Ishbia saying weird stuff. I love the part where my favorite part of all of this is Stephen A. Smith is going to apologize.
Bro, that's hilarious.
Let's fucking go, dude. Yeah, he's like,
Dude.
You know what's gonna be great is like in 3 months when he like apologized, and we're like, oh shit, dude, like Matt Ishbia got him to apologize. It's wild.
And then we get the Shams bomb.
Probably the same time he gets Brad Beal to fucking take that buyout.
Stephen A. Smith has agreed to a 5-year deal to become the Suns' head of basketball operations. Jesus Christ. No, Justin, stop it. Don't think about that.
This might just be crazy enough to work.
Stop it. I'd rather take my chance with Isaiah Thomas.
LeBron's close to retirement, right? Like, can we just? No, I'm kidding. Jesus Christ.
Could you imagine?
Honestly,
Oh,
I say just let me and Devin Booker run everything. It would be dope.
You better get me a job.
Well, yeah, Paul's gonna be there to do like the number stuff. It's gonna be dope. I'm gonna say dope
Done.
one more time. So dope. All right, Dan. Any final thoughts, questions, comments, thoughts, solutions?
No. This was this.
I should have fired Bud one more time. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
This was a very fun episode for a very not fun end of the season recap.
Right? Guess what? It doesn't have to be sad, dude. Look, we should
we're
celebrate
beyond
the
sad.
season that was. Think about all the fun I had this season.
I'm celebrating it's over.
I got a cool backpack. This was like our like 6-man thing. They're like, here, it's a backpack. Oh, and they also like apparently they're sending us like a quarter zip like thing. And I'm like, oh, they're like, oh, hey, sorry about the shitty season. Here's a sweatshirt. Like, cool,
Hey,
thanks, bro. Like,
but also here's this increase in season ticket prices.
yeah, I believe it was 17%. God.
Oh,
I didn't have to buy playoff tickets this year.
Do you remember when I got priced out of season tickets?
Yes, I guess. Yeah,
Dude, it was after
really low down. Like you were down there. Your tickets were down.
Oh yeah, dude, those were good times. It was like right after it sucked because it was right after they fucking renovated the arena, and it was like the 21 season where I got priced out because it's like, oh fuck, like damn
I think
it,
that's when I got tickets.
bro. Like
I just
it was
rolled
a $4,000 increase for the season.
That's unreasonable.
Yeah, so I was like, I don't want to pay that much to watch the shitty team, and then they went to the finals that year. Awesome.
That was my first year ticket holder.
So maybe you should be like, I'm priced out and not get season tickets next year, and they'll go to the final.
Cool. I don't see how that helps anybody, Dan. You know what? I think
it helps us all. You selfish bastard.
Just going to the finals?
I mean, better than fucking 36 wins or whatever the fuck they won.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, blowing it to you only, dude. That shit fucking.
Like, guess what? Guess what's gonna happen to me? Like, I'm gonna, dude. When we lost, when the Bucks closed us out, we were in San Diego on family vacation with Sam and his family and my family, and like the girls were like, "Can we go talk to Dad yet?" Because I was just sitting in the room like quiet. I'm like, "I'm fine." They're like, "Are you sure he's fine?" They're like, maybe just give him a few more minutes, girls. Guess what? We don't have to do that shit this year because we didn't make the playoffs. See, it feels.
It's a good point. It's a good point. It's a good point.
Okay.
Well, I didn't say we were going to lose in the finals next year. I just said we're going to make the finals, and then we'll see what happens.
But why wouldn't you say we're going to win then, Dan? I feel
because we never fucking have, man, and we might never. So that's why I say that. Because we blow 2-0 leads in the finals. Okay.
I'm trying so hard to end this episode. I'm tired.
I'm sorry. Me too. Good night, everybody.
Okay. We're gonna end this episode of Fanny Flames. You can find me on Twitter. I'm at So Says Jay. Dan, where are you?
Dan Duarte 1.
Who's still out there? Nobody. You can follow our pod at Fan of the Flames NBA. Go on YouTube and like and subscribe and all that stuff, because then I feel like we'll get more people watching it and stuff. You know who we need to get more people to watch it? Paul. That's who we need. Maybe he'll be here next episode. Dan, it's been a blast. I have so much fun when we do this. It's a lot of fun. You know, it's going to be a lot of fun next Sun season, because it's totally the year we win the title. Finally. Can't wait. And until then, and until the next time you people watch or listen to us, depending on, I keep forgetting to put up the audio version of this. It's really difficult. But we appreciate you guys watching or listening. And depending on when you're watching or listening, have yourself a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Why did I do that? I did that last time too.
Stop blowing kisses, buddy. It's gay.
Never.